Souls Remastered. We're gonna dive right on into the game that was already in progress. And yeah, we get to pick up right where we left off in Londo. Hey MC, good evening, hope you're having a good day so far. And, well, there's a couple things I actually wanted to take care of this go-around. First things first, since we have the beautiful lighting of Londo to help us take a closer look at some of this stuff, I want to go through some of that massive pile of loot we've accrued throughout the course of the game. Equipment. MC says, I've had a grinding day. 1 achievement left for Hand of Fate 2. Oh, nice, man. Great job. What achievement is left? So I just wanted to go through and kind of show off some of the cool stuff we've picked up. Where to begin? Well, let's start with some of these sets of armor. Because I am a Fashion Souls scrub. We're gonna start with what is considered like the default, or like the most average beginning armor. The hard leather, slash standard set. This is the stuff the regular warrior begins the game with, and as you can see, that's pretty nice, and its actual stats are not, I believe, they're not bad. Not super heavy, not super weak. This is pretty ideal armor, I'd say, for anybody just getting into the game for the first time. MC says, getting 25,000 endless points, currently around 17k. Well, it's gonna be a long road, but I'm sure you can get there. We've already seen the Pyromancer set, as you'd imagine. Very lightweight. Clearly designed for maneuvering through adverse terrain. Yeah, see? Their attire offers substantial protection against poison, fire, and other forces of nature out in the hinterlands where they were driven. This, as far as like having elemental resistances go, as I understand, is really, really good for starting armor. MC says it's about 600 points in adventure. Whoa! That's gonna take some time. We've already seen the Elite Knight set. Real quick, I'll show you the black leather armor for the Thief. This armor made of smooth black leather is extremely quiet, a good thing for those who hide in the shadows. The armor itself is thick, offering a decent layer or level of protection. That is very true. Both points are true. Some of the lightest and quietest armor in the game, and then the mask is the Mask of Sinners. They hide their faces, stifle their voices, and hide in the shadows. It does not provide much in the way of defense, but it honestly looks really, really cool. I'm quite fond of the black leather set myself. Looks like a cooler, more detailed version of, say, Thieves Guild armor from Elder Scrolls Oblivion. MC says depending on the adventure, it can vary between 200 and 1k, or over 1,000. I'd imagine you'd want to go for the most challenging adventures just to kind of get it behind you, right? Oh, we do have a sack we got from the butchers. Blood-stained patchwork sack by the undead man-eating cook lurking in the depths. That's technically grammatically correct, but it's awkward. 2 eye holes have been haphazardly cut out. It's unexpectedly soft and comfortable to wear, but is probably near meaningless in terms of defense. Yeah, and this is MC says, hey, all adventures are equals. I see. We will not be wearing the sack at any point. I just wanted to show it off. Do we have the full hollow warrior set, or most of it? Although it is made out of iron, it is old, battered, and worn out. The game pretty much just straight up tells you, please don't wear this. So we're going to wear what of it we have, of course, which is not much now that I look at it. But we have plenty of their armor. We have, yeah. It looks like, obviously it's like a damaged partial chain shirt, but it looks like this was like a child's armor that we outgrew, and I'm quite glad we're not having to use that. The hollow soldier stuff, I think, holds up a little bit better? Question mark? Oh, we don't have their standard armor. Well, we could just go all hollow if we want. We also got, I think, the Sorcerer's set, which has high magic resistance. Yes, it does. Hat worn by proper sorcerers who studied at Venheim Dragon School. The majority take pride in having studied at the academy and look down on breaking the formal dress code established for sorcerers. In other words, it might not be the world's greatest magic-based armor, but it has a place of pride in, academy ritual, I suppose. It's actually one of my favorite starting armor sets in terms of visuals. Looks very practical, kind of regal, and it does have really solid magic defense, which actually is a point against it serving as good starting armor, because there aren't all that many magically focused enemies early on, I don't think. I think the first real magic enemy we fight is the Channeler in the church. We have the leather armor that the archer began with. Even their lore description is very boring, like boots made of soft leather, very common type of protective gear. But the associated helm, since there technically isn't one, is, I believe, Ferris's hat, since Ferris wears the leather armor when you encounter them in the forest. Broad-brimmed hat favored by the archer hero Ferris. Ferris was an accomplished archer, and though he was human, he ranked alongside Hawkeye Goff, one of the 4 knights of Lord Gwyn. His hat is universally popular among children. I see. Looks like a very narrow kind of musketeer hat, something from that evokes a very similar style. Yeah, this is okay armor. I mean, MC says Robin Hood. Yeah, basically, actually. Except he worked for the rich in this case. What other, like, really good stuff do we have to look at? Oh, we did get King Jeremiah's set. The Xanthus set. A mysterious item once worn by the Xanthus king, Jeremiah, the legendary exile. No one knows where it came from. The crown bears high-quality cloth, which is quite soft to the touch, but its bright yellow color stings the eyes, and it's clearly far too big. Again, a massive Demon Souls reference. Though I believe in Demon Souls, only the crown was present. The rest of this armor set did not appear during the boss fight, and actually, this is a really cool set, I think. Now, I'm no art historian or expert, but this looks, with like the little medallions and metal plates pressed in for decorative purposes all throughout, it looks like a very loose fantasy take on like Mesopotamian or Babylonian finery. And again, if you were wearing anything but this gigantic bandaged thumb on your head, the rest of the set would actually look really cool. I do appreciate, though, how like the giant bundle of cloth at the top kind of bobs and weaves around as we move. We have Havel's set. We just need to read for the lore. Helm worn by Havel the Rock's warriors. Carved from solid rock, its tremendous weight is matched only by the defense it provides. Havel's warriors never flinched nor relented from battle. Those unfortunate enough to face them were inevitably beaten to a pulp, as we well know. Wait, what's it carved from? Yeah, solid rock. It is literal stone armor. And even though I'm not super big on this armor because it tends to be overused and meme-ified amongst the community, it does look really, really cool. Not entirely sure what the purpose of the chains there are. I don't think it necessarily needed those. but it's a really solid looking armor set, no pun intended. MC says the headset for Jeremiah's armor would be a nightmare to pass through a door. It would. It'd be great if they had it programmed to, like, bend back and snap into place as you go through low doorways, but I'm pretty sure you just clip. Havel's set, provided you have the equip load to wear it, is actually really good. We've yet to examine the Firekeeper set. Worn by the Firekeeper at Firelink Shrine, it's thought to have once been the white hood of a maiden, but smoke and ashes from bonfires have darkened it over the years. It is thought to have been the white skirt of a maiden, but its true origin is lost in patches of blood. Perhaps its former wearer was maimed to prevent escape? Just your daily reminder that regardless of what the game's going to try to tell you, Lord Gwyn and the perpetuators of the Age of Fire are monsters. And yeah, you can see that before it was tarnished by the effluvia from the fire, this would actually have been a really, really pretty outfit. I quite like the color pattern as it is. It seems to provide pretty decent elemental resistances, actually. Oh, we also got the Pardoner's set. Robe worn by Pardoner serving Velka, the goddess of sin. The Pardoner's attire is uniformly black in color and said to be imbued with Velka's mystical power, which provides resistance against all manner of magic. Mask worn by the Pardeners. The Pardeners listen to the confessions of sinners, urging reflection and salvation. Their masks symbolize separation from worldly desires. Now this is a really cool looking set, I think. Very reflective, looks almost like it could be made of black leather as well. And I absolutely adore the mask or diadem. Can't forget we got a special weapon in the same area as well that corresponds to this set. We have Shiva's armor here. MC says almost a latex suit. It looks like one due to like the reflective effect they're going for. I'm sure it's meant to be leather. Missing the whip. We can get a whip later on. We can get several, actually. Distinctive armor made in an eastern land. Exquisitely crafted, this armor offers excellent defense, particularly versus slash attacks, which are one of the main threats in battles in the east. That note on the defense is actually true. It is an absolutely beautiful looking set, extremely colorful, and incorporating a number of motifs that you won't see anywhere else in the game's, like, wardrobe design. I really, really dig this. All we're missing is Shiva's massive sword, which we can get in time. But yeah, I'm fond of this, and clearly the fans were as well, because I'm pretty sure it makes appearances... well, I know it's in Dark Souls 3, but I think this set might show up in Dark Souls 2 somewhere as well. What else do we have to look at really quick before we get to the good stuff? Oh, the Black Iron set, yeah. The Gauntlets of Black Iron Tarkus, a knight known for his great strength. That would be the NPC we found, who had fallen from the rafters in the painting hall due to the weight of this armor, and who we could also summon as a spirit to help with the Iron Golem, which he is notorious for being able to solo without us doing anything. Built of special black iron and providing strong defense, notably against fire, but so terribly heavy to be unwieldy to all but Tarkus himself. Hint, hint, when we fight flame-based enemies, we just might want to wear this stuff. And it looks absolutely gorgeous. And is, I want to say, probably one of the more realistic-looking full-plate armors in the game. I could be wrong about that. Love the color, love the motifs, love the style. Since we have such high equip load as well, this would be a great contender for a full armor set. if we ever need much more defense. But the last one I want to check out is the Painting Guardians set. Gloves worn by the alabaster-clothed guardians of the paintings in Anor Londo offers substantial protection versus magic. We're going to need that for today's stream because both of the major pathways we're going to be exploring are really big on magic damage. They've guarded the great paintings of Ariamis for ages, passing their duty down through the generations, but the reason for doing so passed from memory long ago. Anything else for us? No. It is, as you'd imagine, very light. And looks, not too bad, I don't think. Now, in terms of shields and the like, we've got plenty of things to play around with. We got the plank shield earlier on. Makeshift shield built from wooden planks that provides minimal protection, but at a cost of moderate humiliation. It is yeah, I can tell you, not the best. It's what the deprived start with. We've seen those. Have we seen the hollow soldier shield? It's probably the best part of the hollow soldier kit, I believe, because it does provide pretty substantial physical defense, if no other kind. The knight shield I quite liked in my initial playthrough years and years ago. This medium metal shield is elegantly carved and painted. Although thought to have been used by ancient knights of the nobility, its defense capabilities are similar to other shields. This is what Petrus, and I want to say the other clerics, used. Colorful, shiny, my kind of thing. The spider shield was another favorite, especially during my trip to Blighttown in the depths during my first playthrough. Shield of savage mountain bandits, uniquely shaped with a large black spider etched upon it. Has a resistance to poison. It looks like kind of a classical Hellenic shape and even like art style for the arachnid insignia that's been depicted on it. Yeah, this looks very, very Greek to me. This is an interesting one, I recall. The blood shield. Blood shield spoken of in the Lost Legends. The red of blood is slightly enchanted and boosts various resistances. And yeah, it appears to have really good fire resistance and lightning resistance for what they are. And it boosts like all of our status effect resistances, I believe, at the cost of giving us minor build-up of each every time we bring it out. Quite like it, though. If we weren't so committed to the stamina boost the Grass Crest shield gives us, I might explore some of these. And one of my favorites, if not one of the most useful, the Gargoyle Shield. The bronze shield of gargoyles guarding the Bell of Awakening in the Undead Church. The gargoyle skin is tough by itself, and perhaps its shield may have been a prop, for it's a rare example of a metal shield that does not reduce physical damage by 100%. And yeah, it's not great, actually. It's perfectly fine. But really, if anything, this is just kind of a trophy for vanquishing the gargoyles, and I think in that regard, it serves perfectly well. Has a decent, like, magic and lightning defense, though. Fire and lightning, actually. We've looked at the Crest Shield's description, but we haven't seen it. This was Oscar's shield, and I absolutely love the combination of the, very deep, sort of royal blue. Well, no, it looks almost like a royal violet, but it's not. It's like a very deep blue, and then the gold. This is probably my favorite shield in the series, the Eagle Shield. We still don't have the strength to wield it, and it is far and away the easiest great shield to use. It's actually surprisingly light, and blocks most physical damage. Along with having good lightning resist. Wow. Tarkus has his personal great shield. It looks very cool. Built of special black iron and even heavier than the Knights of... Sorry, this is like a mistranslation, I think. Than the Berenica Knights' tower shields. Especially resistant to fire attacks and effective for shield bashing. Indeed, we cannot use this thing at all because it's so damn heavy. But look at it. Look at that. Oh, if it was brand new and wasn't like all burnished, it would be gorgeous. And of course, Havel has a great shield that, you ready for this, kids? Requires a strength of 50 to wield properly. 50. That is, suffice to say, not happening. Great shield of the legendary Havel the Rock, cut straight from a great slab of stone. This great shield is imbued with the magic of Havel, provides strong defense, and is incredibly heavy. A true divine heirloom on par with the Dragon Tooth. Yep, there it is. Also got these large metal chains on the front for whatever reason. I guess it just needed to be heavier. So that is it for our shield showcase. I've got just a couple more things I want to share with you all. I don't think we need to see any of these, except maybe the lore on Ferris's bow. The preferred black bow of the heroic archer Ferris has a longer range than standard bows, but is more difficult to use. Without proper abilities, results will be underwhelming. And now we can finally look at all the cool weapons I got and promptly threw in a giant bag. We've technically never looked at one of the broken straight swords, only the straight sword hilt that we started the game with, which is underwhelming, to say the least. This is better. Absolutely no reason why you'd use it aside from a challenge run, but better. We have the Black Knight sword, which we would still need to wield with both hands. Like so. But we can use it now two-handed. Quite well, actually. We have the Stone Greatsword of the Stone Knights in the Overrun Garden. The Stone Knights who guard the Darkroot Garden wield this moss-covered greatsword. The same magic which created the Stone Knights is imbued in the sword. Unleash this power by wielding the sword with two hands. Now, we can't wield this at all because, again, it's just prohibitively heavy. But I think if we did have the strength necessary to wield it, we could actually cast the Knight's special miracle that creates a slowdown aura all around us. It's a very cool-looking weapon, and surprisingly powerful despite its kind of weathered condition. We have Tarkus's Greatsword, one of the gigantic straight greatswords. Very few have what it takes to wield this incredibly heavy, damage-dealing monster. A favorite of the Knights, Berenica, known for their heavy armor, and Black Iron Tarkus. Yeah, so that asshole that cost me nearly 100,000 souls last night, he was carrying one of these. And yeah, we can deal just about as much damage with it as he did. And great swords like this, technically an ultra great sword, are favorites of the fandom, but not of your streamer tonight. The Falchion we haven't looked at, but it's my favorite weapon, one of my favorite weapons in Demon Souls. Think the Scimitar, but with, I think, slightly longer range and a thicker blade. The Shotel, Lautrec's weapon, I really dig this one. Curved sword with sharply curved blade, created by Arster, Earl of Kareem. Requires great skill to wield, but evades shield defense to sneak in damage. Again, this is the one that you can use to just cleave around an opponent's shield. It's really nice, actually. The Painting Guardian swords are technically curved swords, albeit very short ones. Curved sword of Andor Londo Painting Guards, unique shape with a flat tip. The Guardians who strike down those who dare threaten the paintings attack in a continuous circular dancing motion, a technique passed down through generations. And yeah, this is the smallest curved sword in the entire series, I believe. Really, it's a dagger that has a unique strong attack. Check this out. It's actually a very cool series of animations, I think. And can deal some solid damage and build bleed up. I want to say it causes bleed damage. Yes, it does. We have our curved greatsword, of which there are only a couple, the Server. A curved greatsword used in a mysterious ancient rite, imbued with a frightful occult energy which restores HP with each hit. Yeah, we found this one. It's kind of like a giant Falx. Down at the bottom of Blighttown, of course. Because where else would horrible eldritch weapons be? We've not seen the Mailbreaker. MC says, and then we have Cloud's Buster Sword. When we swing it, we can't. Nobody can. Well, funny you should mention that. The greatsword, like the big one that the Berenica Knights use. As you see, it's very big but kind of thin, receives a remodel in Dark Souls 2 that carries over into the third game, and it basically becomes a giant slab of metal, very reminiscent of the Buster Sword, actually. Terribly reminiscent of it. We've not seen the Mail Breaker yet, but it's basically a baby rapier. Good, I guess, if you were dual-wielding weapons and wanted something effective for parrying in your opposite hand, which you can use these for, I believe. But not great otherwise. We've seen Ricard's rapier. We've not seen Velka's rapier, which requires an intelligence of 16 to effectively wield. A symbolic, powerful thrusting sword used by the partner serving Velka, goddess of sin. It's no mere symbol, to be sure. The partner is an inhuman swordsman and wields this enchanted blade with special sword techniques. And, yeah, it might be the most cool-looking thrusting sword in the entire game. And it, too, has special, strong attacks. My kind of weapon. Might want to focus on building that up later. We do have the Butcher's Knife, that also, I want to say, has a special, attack animation if we were strong enough to use it properly, but we're not. The Gargoyle Tail Axe, of which we have two. Sliced tail of the gargoyles guarding the Bell of Awakening in the Undead Church or patrolling Anor Londo. Can be used as a bronze battle axe. Bends dramatically during large attacks owing to its nature as a tail. Yeah, this is really interesting, actually. So it's a solid, if kind of cumbersome, axe, except when you use those strong attacks, during which, check it out, way! You get an insane arc on it. There's a great axe we can't even begin to wield properly. We've seen the Demon's Great Axe, but not the weapon we got from the Gaping Dragon's Tail, the Dragon King Great Axe. This axe, one of the rare dragon weapons, is formed by the tail of the Gaping Dragon, a distant, deformed descendant of the everlasting dragons. The axe is imbued with mystical power, to be released when held with both hands, which is never going to happen because this thing also requires a strength of 50 to wield, and Jesus, will you look at this monster. It just looks like a massive slab of rock, doesn't it? Or, like short ribs that have been been near the fire a bit too long. We've got our occult club, solid if we ever need to fight, deific enemies, I guess. The Great Club, which is kind of cute looking. This is, meant to be the trademark weapon of the Poop City Barbarians. Havel's Dragon Tooth, created from an everlasting dragon's tooth, legendary great hammer of Havel the Rock. The tooth will never break as it's harder than stone, and grants its wielder resistance to magic and flame. So, if you couldn't pick up on it yet, Havel's whole set is all about buffing your resistances, your durability, your ability to tank damage through the roof. And, yeah, the Dragon Tooth will do the job. We have the Demon Spear. I've never gotten one of these before, actually. Carved from the bones of fellow demons. Jeez. Wielded by the slim, lesser Batwing demons. The weapon of these Chaos Demons wandering Anor Londo are different than those of other Chaos Demons and are imbued with lightning. Right, instead of their traditional fire. And looks like a pretty good weapon. We have the Gargoyle's Halberd. Perfectly standard bronze halberd without any special power, save that we're not quite strong enough to use it one-handed. And yeah, I can tell you right now, this is not a fantastic weapon, it's okay. Like a lot of these boss weapons, it's really just a trophy, and it looks super cool. We have the Giant's Halberd, used by those massive Sentinel assholes. Large halberd made of old brass, used by the giant sentinels of Anor Londo. Brass contains traces of lightning, but as the halberd is designed for the giant sentinels, its weight is unbearable. True that, but God, would you look at this thing, it's gorgeous. That's my kind of weapon, folks. If, we could use it properly. Absolutely love the etchings along the blade. God. We have the Black Knight halberd, of course, which looks more understated, more reserved, but has a pretty solid design itself. Looks like it could be part of the ebony equipment in Elder Scrolls Oblivion or Skyrim. And what do you know? As it turns out, we do have a whip. Jeremiah's notched whip that causes ridiculous amounts of bleed buildup. Whips can actually be a lot of fun to use in Dark Souls 2. Slightly less so here. But that's a quick rundown of our equipment showcase so far. We've earned a lot of really cool, interesting relics. But we ain't anywhere near done. There's a couple things I want to do before we carry on with the game proper. First and foremost, I would love to see if we can't truck our way across the bridge past the Drake to the special shrine and bonfire that the Hellkite Drake is sort of unintentionally guarding. So we'll head to the parish and try working our way back out around. We're definitely going to want to jack our fire resistance through the roof, because odds are good we're going to take some fire damage. We might die, but it's okay because we're hollow and we don't have that many souls. I do appreciate that every single item in this game, every spell, every weapon, every piece of equipment, every ring, has its own largely unique, lore-rich description. Like, they really do a lot to build this world through the little treasures you can find, making them that much more substantial. I think that's fantastic design. Got a backstab in even as the other knight saw me. Whoa, we just dropped a Baldur Knight in one stab. We have come far, folks. What did he drop? Ah, the gauntlets. Nice. That's half of the set we have now. Oh, good job. Somebody just rang the Bell Gargoyles Bell of Awakening. And both of the archers just fell down. That made my job a hell of a lot easier. Now just watch. I do think it's hilarious. Like, I think in terms of audience performance, Dark Souls is easily my worst series universally thus far. And it's also the only time I've been, like, pretty good at a game I've played. Not fantastic, trust me, there's folks who are absolute masters at this game, but I've turned in a decent performance. Now, when some children's game is causing me to, like, punch holes in my wall 2 months from now, I promise you we'll have, like, a record turnout. Alright, so the best way across is literally just to charge. And yeah, we're gonna take some damage, but not enough to kill us. Yeah, give me that bonfire, give me... Yes! So we get a bonfire and we get a shortcut. Now we can fight that dragon, technically. It would just be, you know, very hard. We also gain access to a shrine dedicated to Lord Gwyn's disowned son, the god of war, the god of the sun. The god who in his benevolence patronizes the warriors of sunlight. Hello, Soler. MC says if only we could make peace with that dragon. Yeah, not the Hellkite Drake, unfortunately.
Poor fortune. I did not find my own son. Not in Anor Londo.
Oh, Solaire's not doing too well.
Where else might my son be? Lost Island? Or the tomb of the Grave Lord? But I cannot give up. I became undead to pursue this. But when I peer at the sun up above, it occurs to me.
Wait, maybe we can, like, squash things with the dragon over a friendly skateboarding competition.
Well, I suppose they wouldn't be far off. Oh, hello there. I will stay behind to gaze at the sun. The sun is a wondrous body, like a magnificent father. If only I...
He's a nice guy, but he sure does like staring at the sun. So, yeah, this altar is... Yes, praise the sun, thank you. Supposed to be dedicated to Gwen's firstborn, and we should be able to interact with it. I say should be, but... Hold on a mo. Oh no, this just brings us back out near where the armored tusk was. Trying to figure out how we can technically obtain this covenant. 1 minute. I'm just gonna make sure I've got this right. There we go. Okay. Okay, so this covenant's actually very special in that apparently, I was not aware of this, we need to either have, well, sorry, by default, we need to have a faith of 25 in order to even interact with this statue, or, like, the ruins of it, as Lord Gwyn had it destroyed. So the idea is, I guess, you need additional faith for this, or in this force, to even really be able to perceive it, since it's, unlike the rest of these gods and great powers, not just right there in front of you. But that requirement is decreased by 5 every time we enter somebody else's world and help them kill a boss. In other words, do the thing that the Warriors of Sunlight are famous for. So I'll probably do some of that off-screen, and we can take care of that, or come back here later on. Like probably during tomorrow's stream or something like that. But now, I'm actually gonna see if we can't fight this damn dragon. Wherever it is. Come on. Oh, got a claymore. Pretty solid two-hander. It's not gone, is it? Did we just remove the Hellkite Dragon from the game by accident? Right. Undead Berg, I gotcha. Gee, I think we might actually be down one dragon. Or Drake, I should say. That's a real shame, because I kind of wanted to show off the unique weapon you can get from its tail. MC says, go back across the bridge and he'll pop up again. I had this happen too. I see. Oh, from Reddit. Gotcha. Thank you very much. Hold on. There's also a shortcut back down to the Undead Berg bonfire that, for whatever reason, I just keep missing. I know that it's here. I know that I usually get it very early on in most of my playthroughs, but that's one of the cool things about Dark Souls. The world is so complex. You're constantly finding and or forgetting about things. We will head back there at a later date, actually. Because, well, now it's technically... Jesus. Going to be time for us to embark on what I would consider to be one of the more challenging runs in the game. Because, well, it's time for us to start gathering up the Lord Souls so we can put them in the Lord Vessel and open the pathway to Lord Gwyn and the First Flame. And we're going to start with, well, the way it works is, I believe I've told you guys this before, could be wrong. We need to track down what are generally considered to be the Soul of Life, the Soul of Death, and 2 shards of Lord Gwyn's Soul of Light that he bequeathed to certain of his lieutenants. And we're going after one of those shards right now. Or, well, we will be as soon as we get down to the bonfire. So, the beings we're going to be fighting do not technically possess Lord Souls all their own. Their own nature won't be reflected in the souls we get from them. We'll be collecting pieces of Gwyn's soul. At least from one of tonight's big bosses. Jeez! Alright, now using this, good, we can actually warp to the Sunlight Altar. That's good to see. From here, we probably want to go to, yeah, we want to go to Firelink for this. As it's time to go fight a boss that always gave old Brady some serious trouble. And, explore one of the most challenging... MC says, so if he isn't there, just go down to the Undead Berg bonfire, rest, quit, and reload, and he should show up at the latest as soon as you step on the bridge again. I got it, thank you very much. It'll be a while before we head back that way, because, well, we've just got some tricky business in store. Oh, right. There we go. He doesn't have anything new to say. Time to tackle the old city of New Londo. Deep beneath Firelink Shrine. And if you'll recall, we actually found a pathway to New Londo. As, like, sort of a back entrance of sorts to Blighttown. And that magic resistance is going to come in extra handy here. But first things first, we do have some fairly urgent business to take care of. Beginning with giving our magical blacksmith the magic ember, right? Remember we picked that up in the mushroom grove in the forest? This enchanted ember, a form of sorcery, is a vestige of the lost land of Ulasil. Ascends a +5 magic weapon to an enchanted weapon. The sorcerer's enchanted weapon inflicts magic damage and is boosted by intelligence. In other words, a weapon upgraded or ascended along that path does deal magic damage, but it also scales its damage with your intelligence instead of whatever weapon scaling it had beforehand.
Hey, hang on.
So we'll go ahead and give him the ember.
A sorcery embers? I've never seen one like this. Not even back in Vinheim. What a brilliant flame. Please, friend, let me have that, I am begging you. I am a craftsman of Vinha. I'd go hollow before I pass the flames.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Oh, really? You are wonderful. I will forge a wicked masterpiece just for you. A weapon to make a legend out of.
Good stuff, I guess.
Come back soon. Smithing, don't let me wither.
And, right, regarding some of the other urgent business I mentioned, time for what's technically a mini-boss fight. Unfortunately, our good friend Tony Hawkwood from the beginning of the game has gone hollow, and is now attacking us with, I think, just a short sword? He's well, poor guy, not all that difficult. How many souls does he give us? Just 1,000. What a shame. Doesn't even drop anything, poor guy. MC says going hollow seems like a common plot issue. Oh, it is, through the entire series. In the second and third game, we start to see some possible solutions to this. But, the closest thing we have here is the vagueness of the chosen undead prophecy, proclaiming that, oh, once the chosen undead links the fire and succeeds Lord Gwyn, none of this will be necessary anymore. We also picked up what appear to be severed hands, called the Transient Curse. This is really important, because the temporary curse allows for engagement with ghosts. The only way to fight back against ghosts who are cursed beings is to become cursed oneself. The safest method, however dreadful, is to cut off an arm of the dead. Yep. Guess what the gimmick for New Londo is. If you recall, this place was mentioned in a couple item descriptions as having been the site of basically a great massacre. Gwyn sent his sealers to flood the entire city and kill all of its inhabitants. And, as you'd expect, the inhabitants of New Londo haven't taken that too well. To get our first Lord Soul Shard, we're going to have to tangle with an entire city packed to the gills with the undead, with regret, and with unrecognized potential. This is tough. Now, the ghosts deal insane damage, as you'd imagine, but are exceedingly frail. Being, you know, ghosts. Oh, there's treasure out there, though. Treasure across a very narrow little... Oh, no. No! No! It threw me off. Yeah, that's rough. Now, there is a way around the transient curse issue. If you have a blessed weapon of any kind, you can use it, against the undead. MC says, way to get flooded with complaints. You can use blessed weapons against ghosts and the undead and deal regular damage no matter what. I'm gonna try again. Since, well, clearly we can take the ghosts, I just wasn't being aggressive enough with those two. New Londo is one of those rare areas that actually gets easier the deeper in you go. We're going to reach a point where the ghosts are replaced with other enemies, and in my humble opinion, anything in New Londo is easier to deal with than the ghosts. They can go through walls, they can go through your shield, it's just a mess. MC says they can ghost you too. Oh, yeah, right. It's also worth noting, hold on. We might not need Transient Curse after all, because I'm fairly certain magic weapons, including the buff that, like, my magic weapon spell will grant my rapier, deals damage to them as well. Let's put this to the test. Nope. I thought wrong. I must have been thinking about another game, or another type of spell. There we go. Firekeeper Soul. Hey, baby, that's good stuff. That'll allow us to reinforce that Estus flask yet again. It was worth it. Well worth it. Sure could use more of those transient curses, though. Because, believe you me, there are a ton of ghosts here. MC says this area reminds me a bit of Metro Last Light. I can see that, actually. New Londo is easily the most dismal, depressing environment in the entire game. This is where we go from dark fantasy to just... No. Okay, we can survive that. To, just straight up horror. That room is kind of a pain because there's a ton of ghosts, and they just keep coming for a little while. There we go. Does this just lead down to the water's edge? Yeah, afraid so. Ghost ahead. Well, of course there's a damn ghost. Everything's ghosts, and it's just a parrying dagger. Okay, yeah, fine, sure. Hey, fog door, that's a good thing. That's a special ghost. Now it's a dead ghost. A re-dead ghost. A former ghost. Now, amazingly, MC says if you want the best haunted area in a game, Thief 3. Really? That sounds interesting. Oh, and by the way, somehow or another, we can actually acquire the ghost's weapons to use for ourselves, and they're amazing. Seriously, some of the best short blades in the entire series, in my opinion. MC says Thief 3 Deadly Shadows has a psychiatric hospital / orphanage. Classic, like, horror fare. Sounds right up my alley. So hold on, we still have some stuff to explore back at the top of the tower that brought us out here. Thief 4 tried to imitate it? I did not complete Thief 4, I don't think. So I don't remember ever coming across that. I'm guessing it was disappointing. Contraption don't move. Of course it doesn't. Okay, so there's no other way to go than down the tower. Right. So our goal here, as you might expect, lies at the very bottom of New Londo. Well, kind of, sort of. You'll see what I mean. MC says I saw some of it and it was boring. That's a shame. Large soul of a nameless soldier. We'll take it. Looks like we're still under the effects of that first curse, thankfully. Come on. Come on. Come. Down. Down, ghost. Bad ghost. MC says a bunch of the game took inspiration from Thief 3, even though it's not that great of a game. I see. So now we're going to have to, like, skirt around the water's edge. Always fun. Hunting treasure. Legitimately fun. Oh no, the transient curse wore off. Oh, that is the worst time that could have happened. Look at it floating its way up the ladder. Got it. So the transient curse lasts a good long while. Not quite long enough, I mean, but gives us some security. Gotta be some treasure down here, right? MC says I discovered a new blessing in Hand of Fate 2 today. It's called Callous Blood. Does it deal like extra damage against magical creatures or like non-human creatures? Not a great blessing, but very nice lore-wise. What's the lore, or what's the effect of the blessing? Blood of the Victor. Deal 25% more damage when you have a one-handed weapon equipped. Oh, nice. Well, I guess depending on the weapon, that could be... Your companion will not aid you during gambits, unhelpful companion, and stand alone, your companion will not aid you in combat. Oh, I see. So it more or less reverts the game, or brings the game closer to the mechanics of Hand of Fate 1. That is pretty nice, actually. Oh, here they come. Oh, they coming. Lots and lots of them. Through the floor, through the ceiling. They don't drop as many souls as you'd expect them to. MC says, and the way to get it is to get the Eternal Hope blessing, the one you get from Theophilus. Oh, I see. No, no, no. So as you can see, New Londo was not in a great state before it was brought low. Like, horrible, horrible things happened here. And as we're going to learn, New Londo constitutes more or less the only really solid case I think the entire series makes against the dark. We'll get a bit deeper into what I understand of its lore later on as we go on to meet the boss. But suffice to say, characteristically, Gwen made things worse here, but they weren't great to begin with. MC says, and then meet the stranger in the shadows. After getting the blessing. Right, right. I think we tried for that once. Don't know if we ever got it. What's in here? Proud Knight Soul? Oh, for God's sake. Oh, more of them? MC says, well, you tried for the Eternal Hope, but the second part, you haven't access to it yet. That's right. That sounds right, yes. We definitely want to stay away from the water, as we're playing as, like, the world's bravest, most capable rock. Oh, hello. The Curse Bite Ring, of all the times, always runs out right when we get attacked by a ghost. But the Curse Bite Ring significantly reduces curse status buildup while it's equipped. Now that last nasty little ghosty we can just kind of avoid for now. Well, no, here it comes. Faster than I recall. Titanite? Okay. Never gonna turn my nose up at that. We are almost to what I would consider the halfway point of New Londo, I think. Yeah, this massive church. A humanity. Because it's time to take yet another one of Lord Ren's many, many atrocities and bring it to light. What's over here? Oh, another sacrifice ring. Nice. How do we get up there, though? Oh, right. The chimney looking thing. So time to meet the only real NPC in New Londo, who might look kinda familiar. Yep, he has a 10 banishment catalyst and is wearing the Crimson set, so he is indeed one of those 3 sealers.
This is a surprise. I get few visitors, save for ghosts. You have the Lord Vessel. Very impressive. I know exactly what your intentions are. You seek the 4 kings whom I guard over. This is the key to the seal.
Yep, and he just gave us a key that we can use to unlock a floodgate.
Deepest chamber of the ruins. Use this key to break the seal and open the floodgates. Oh, and do not forget, the dark wraiths reside in a dark void called the Abyss. But the Abyss is no place for ordinary mortals. Although, long ago, the knight Artorius traversed the Abyss. If you can find him...
That's why we got the Abyss Walking Ring from Artorius' grave. We're going to need it here.
Hello there. What is it? The key to the seal is now in your hands. I will help you in any way possible. New Londo was sacrificed to contain the Dark Wraiths. Mark my words. The Dark Wraiths are the enemies of man, and any living thing that has a soul. They were never meant.
This is a complex point, but he's broadly right. So the Dark Wraiths, to give you the short version, are an order of primarily human knights who embrace both the power of dark and the power of humanity, and use specialized sorceries and, like, extremely powerful magical equipment to siphon the humanity, like the personhood, literally, out of others so they can strengthen themselves. So kind of like while Lord Gwyn is constantly trying to do whatever is necessary to contain or keep stoking this fire, whatever he has to keep feeding to it, the Dark Wraiths just suck energy out of people. And the Dark Wraiths got quite a foothold here in New Londo. And in fact, the direct patronage of New Londo's four kings. All ruling in some kind of sprawling co-monarchy, I believe. And the four kings, as governors of New Londo, this sort of outpost of the fortress city of Anor Londo, created by and for humans instead of like the Titans, Gwyn's people, were granted a shard of Lord Gwyn's Soul of Light, collectively, that it may be used to defend and bolster Anor Londo. So we're trying to recover the shard that was gifted to the kings today. You see, we have a great view here of the Valley of Drakes, and I don't know if that's Blighttown or not. We got a composite bow, which is pretty powerful, and some long-distance arrows. I'm sorry if you can hear the neighbor's dog barking. That is just a thing. We can now use the key to the seal to open the floodgate. Well, here we go. Get ready for another one of those great old Lordran atrocities. Because we're about to go down and meet what's left of New Londo's inhabitants. After years and years, finally draining all of this. And letting some of the drakes get disturbingly close to the city. We can now call this elevator up from the depths. You definitely get the sense that New Londo was a fairly advanced and impressive city when it was, you know, actually operational. Now, I think from here on out, there might be a few ghosts, but not a ton. And yeah, meet the inhabitants of New Londo. Now, the Dark Wraiths did not do much of this, as I understand. A lot of this was Gwyn deciding that some excessive uses of the darkness were sufficient to consider the entire city compromised. And speaking of, meet a Dark Wraith. Holy crap, wasn't hoping to see one of you guys so soon. They're basically Sith, and look really, really badass. Aside from the ridiculous skull masks, I think, but the armor itself and, like, the massive swords, yeah, cool. But Gwyn considered the entire city, like, irreparably corrupted, and so sent the sealers down here to slaughter the entire population, to keep the darkness out of Lordran. And, yeah, again, I can't find myself seeing any way this would be merited. Disproportionate response kind of seems to be Gwyn and Anor Londo's general ideology when it comes to dealing with powers beyond their control. Now, before long, we should hit a bonfire somewhere in these ruins. MC says, people are compromised, time to wash away the sins. Literally, yeah. Like it just didn't matter to him. Speaking of, hi. Can we not do this right now, sir? My rapier is fairly weak. Yeah, these guys now are absolutely no joke. No, 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 no. Their swords, the Dark Blades, I believe, also have a unique moveset. Now, keep in mind, not everyone, in fact, most people who use the power or rely on the power of the darkness don't end up like these guys. They're a fairly extreme example, much in the same way that, say, the... Well, hold on. Before I continue pontificating, I've got to find me a bonfire. Somewhere around all the monsters. Oh. Whew. No, 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 no. MC says not all the Siths were bad. Right, but these guys I would say are less analogous to Sith. Well, they look like Sith, certainly, but they're closer to, like, I don't know, some kind of pirates, really. Just raiders. Oof. You mean to tell me I actually wore my sword out stabbing ghosts? That'd be funny if it weren't so infuriating. It's time to do something that normally in Souls would be absolutely suicidal, and try running straight through the area to try and find ourselves a bonfire. Just ignore that thing, it's not that bad, actually. Or not that tough, I should say. These guys are still on our tail somehow. Oh, up here perhaps. No! No! Oh, man. Well, at least we can repair our sword now. Jeez. We can repair our sword, and since our main enemies at this point are just going to be the ghosts on the run back down... Christ. We can actually run through most of them. We'll use one of these. Nice. Repair the sword and the shield, we should be good. Alright, showtime. Now that New Londo's been drained, we can see it was actually a pretty sprawling city at the time of construction. Ghosts are still around, of course, because Dark Souls. No, 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 no. Alright, we got this. It's gonna be tense, but we got this. Not far now to the church, or to the gatehouse. Wrong one. Right one. Not the longest elevator ride in the world, but still I think it's pretty cool that they have this sort of transition down to the second half of the stage. Alright. Now let's try this with a proper sword. Or a sword in proper condition. There we go. Almost dead in one strike. And very dead in two. Now that, kids, is a bit more like it. So, on their own, Dark Wraiths... Well, on their own, and when we have a decent weapon, Dark Wraiths... Jesus! Just killed me! Christ almighty! So, they're glass cannons, effectively. Even if you didn't have, like, a magically enhanced rapier, we've also lost a bunch more souls. Yay, yay. We've not leveled up since the Painted World. Because this is what happens in Dark Souls. They can't take a lot of punishment, but they deal a ton of damage very quickly. And indeed, if you get all of their gear, you're kind of encouraged to play that way yourself. Although, I will say, in the hands of a player at least, the Dark Wraith's armor is actually, at least in other games where it appears, pretty robust. I'm so tired of losing souls, though. That is the worst, and it's gonna make the later game way more difficult on us, actually. New Londo is not the area where I would say I'm likeliest to die many times consecutively. Only one other area beats it out in that regard, and that area just so happens to be next on our list after this place. And as cool as the lore is from a gameplay and design perspective, I'll actually say New Londo is probably my least favorite area in the entire game. It's just, and I know this is deliberate, it's just a matter of personal preference. I find it very drab. Drab and maybe a bit too large for what it is. Get out the way! No, no, no! We've got to make it to that bonfire at the bottom of the lake. Or the bottom of the city, I should say. Once we do that, we'll be just fine. We can reverse hollowing, we can kindle the bonfire, and we'll be set. We'll be set for a very tough, but probably manageable boss. I'd say with the kit we have, it'll take me some time to learn the fight, but I can do it. Alright, once more. This time we're going to move very carefully through, kiting the dark wraiths one at a time as best we can. And, also that great big, like, greasy, like, slime creature, it shoots out little, like, exploding soul mines, but other than that, I don't believe is too terribly dangerous. It's gonna take some time for us to wear down, but we can manage. I don't know if the Dark Wraiths drop any of their arms or armor in this game. I know there's at least one piece of armor they definitely do not drop, but I don't know about most of it. If we could get a Dark Blade to show off, that'd be really cool. Alright. Now, yeah, we have one that attacks us straight away. That should get him, right? MC says, I have the power of the pokey stick and I will not be denied. Well, I mean, we are basically running this entire game as a poke build. So that's very, very accurate. Yeah, this poor thing I believe is called the Mass of Souls. And this is just a bunch of New Londo's citizens, or what's left of them, fused into a giant creature of the darkness. Typically, while a lot of things in Dark Souls worlds are kind of monstrous, things associated with pure, uncontrolled dark tend to have sort of eldritch designs or connotations. MC says, sounds like a Monday to be honest. Well, true. Very true. Well, wait, what significance do days of the week have right now? This is the pandemic world, so time has no meaning. Save deadlines. Deadlines are unfortunately still a thing. Now, I believe there are a couple dark wraiths hiding in wait in these little huts. Yes, indeed. Come on out. Any day, Grandpa. And was there another one over here? No. Oh, what's this? More humanity. Kind of surprised one of them didn't already gulp that up, given how starved for the stuff they are. MC says, when watching anime on a daily basis, day of the week has significance. I get you. Like, when new episodes are released on streaming services. That's fair. Totally fair. Yeah, remember, this we could see this chest from that balcony over there the first time we came through battling the ghosts. So what's up here, then? The very large ember. This one is, I think, for the giant blacksmith? Oh, no, Andre. Ember required for weapon ascension, huge ember of highest quality handled by the blacksmiths of Astora. Allows for reinforcement to plus 15 on par with the greatest weapons of legend. We are going to give ourselves a legendary pokey stick just as soon as we get back to Andre, using some of those Titanite chunks we've accrued over the course of the game. Really looking forward to that. That means our rapier becomes even more powerful. Now, believe it or not, this section of the stage is not that long at all. We're, if I recall, not too terribly far from the boss already. More cash. Good, we're gonna need it. Illusory wall, thank you. Well, come on there, big guy. I'm not fighting you on a narrow bridge like that. That's suicide. One more poke? No, that's all the poke you can take. Not a mimic, what we got? Oh, a Titanite chunk. Perfect for creating the poker of, legend. MC says flooding the city was a great plan. Yeah, I mean, it's just like only the worst creatures survived. Yeah, the people they wanted to kill survived. Well, the idea, as I understand, wasn't actually to kill them, but just to trap them here. And maybe, I could be wrong about this, and if I'm right about it, it only makes Lord Gwyn and his government all the more monstrous. Deprive them of all the humanity sprites they were, like, feasting themselves on by, well, exterminating all of the people. Cutting them off from their source of power. More red eye orbs. The dark wraiths are very fond of those, of course. Alright, buddy. Up you get. MC says basically weighing them down. Yes. And, also, I believe Gwyn and friends really wanted to make sure the four kings stayed down here. Doing good. Doing good so far. Oh no. What are you doing here, ghost? Get away. Oh no. Oh no. No! God damn it! Where is the bonfire down there? I distinctly remember it being in one of, like, the little shack villages. Good news, I'm not entirely sure that the Mass of Souls respawns. Bad news, they are the least troublesome thing down there. That was a group attack. Yes, it was. This game, I could be misremembering, but I distinctly know, relative to Dark Souls 3, this game, as we kind of saw in Anor Londo, is very fond of taking like an area's quote-unquote elite enemies, like the really tough ones, and throwing them at you in groups, usually in pairs. The Dark Wraiths, I think, are also kind of notorious in the fandom for having an insane aggro range. Which, coupled with New Londo's darkness, is, yeah, not a great time for old Brady. We've got to find that bonfire somehow, but be great to find a path that wasn't loaded down with ghosts, and soul masses, and like a half-dozen Dark Knights. Hey. Once we find the bonfire, too, the boss room is like a stone's throw away. I do remember that. MC says, if you want great time, earlier today, on my current endless run, I started an adventure with the Treacherous Wilds, so minus 30% food. Those are rough. One of my least favorite cards in the game, actually. Oof. We can get there, we can get there. You needed around 118 food for a trial? Jesus. That's a ton. So down to 100, right? Found some food on the way, or build up food on the way. Then right before the end of the adventure, goblins. Oh. And you missed one. Let me guess, got away with just enough food, right? Just enough to disqualify you. Oh, that sucks, man. Let's try this again. That's the attack we want. We can punish that or their grapple pretty easily. Now, of course, their grapple will destroy us if it lands. Wasn't that bad, just 4 pieces of equipment lost? Well, considering how much you have to build up over the course of an endless run, and the gradual degradation of equipment, yeah, that doesn't sound too bad, I don't think. There we go. Here he comes. Our first buddy. MC says, but still shows how brutal Endless can be. Well, definitely. It sounds like the requirements for some of those trials, like just the benchmarks you have to meet, are insane. Speaking of, hey Brady, go kill your way through a giant immortal order of Dark Knights that have been down here with an entire town full of corpses. Just festering in their own rage for ages. That sounds like a fun time, right? And the thing is, like, not these guys specifically, but broadly in this conflict, I'm on their side. And he says the amount is based off what you have up to a certain limit. Okay, so they're, like, adaptable for whatever you've accrued. I see. So head over here. And he says, and you start needing 10 food for a trial. I gotcha. That makes more sense then. They have probably the most interesting shield in the game, the Dark Hand. Have we been down here? Yes, we have. MC says, when you have over 300, 100 food per trial is nothing. Also got like 666 gold, right? Right, yeah, no, you'd be rolling in it after a certain amount of time in Endless, I would imagine. Here they come. Then it went down to 100 gold. It never stays. Well, yeah, it sounds like they'd have to do something like that to keep you on your toes and invested in, oh my god, he just dropped something. That could just be a cracked red eye orb, but it could be some Dark Wraith gear. Come on, be kind. Oh, Titanite chunk. Well, not either of the expected results, but good nonetheless. It's going to help us make this sword even stronger, this perfectly mundane little sword of ours. You, obviously don't want to be hit by that. So now it's us versus another miserable little mass of souls. And ghosts we cannot harm. Maybe if we can draw the ghosts away, we can kind of kite it, bit by bit. Obviously, the Mass of Souls itself, I'm pretty sure it will just wreck you if it hits, but it's very torpid, so we shouldn't have too hard a time dealing with it, right? Especially not like this. Oh, you're following us, I see. And stabbing us with a halberd that's inside you. Good. And it drops nothing, but we never have to deal with it again. How on earth are you guys getting in here? Oh, right, all the remains and stuff. Yeah, that would be a problem. What do we have? What do we have? More Titanite. Good. Time to get the hell out. Make sure there's nothing in the pots and get the hell out. I remember you. No, no, no. Oh, great. Now the ghosts are on us, and they're just friggin' relentless. Oh. My kingdom for a transient curse, come on. Okay, we have got to track down this bonfire, y'all. This is getting serious. We actually made it to the boss door, but... MC says apparently you can also make the Great Sword of Artorias cursed. Either you can make it so, or it is, by default. Okay, okay. Oh right, there's one of you. Oh, come on then. Half my health in one hit. The Dark Wraith experience. Whew, alright. These are both just stairwells, right? No, this is an elevator. Taking us back up to the ghosts, I take it? Yep. So, good to have, just not right now. Thank you. I'll get this, no worries. Is it behind a rear wall? None. It's in one of these little huts. I do distinctly remember that. MC says there's a normal version and then you can ascend using a normal plus 10 straight sword. Right. Well, no, that is... No, you're right. I think there might be 2 variants of that sword. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm looking this one up really quickly. Okay. Just a moment, we will find this. Okay. Or wait, is there not a bonfire down here? Am I thinking of another game entirely? Like Dark Souls 2, maybe? MC says I was looking at how to fight ghosts. Yeah, so there is not a bonfire. Whoopsie. So, yeah, we're just going to have to attempt this fight and then use our handy-dandy new little elevator to kind of make this run as quick as we can. Oh god, this fight. So there's an NPC you can summon if you're not hollowed, which we are, unfortunately, that will help a little bit. But this next fight is just a straight DPS test. We are going to have to slug it out with the very best of them. God almighty, get out. So yeah, boss chamber. Not what you'd expect, right? Time to slap on that ring we got from Artorias' grave. And time to, well, we've seen the cruelties of the light, but now it's time to examine more closely the true costs of completely and totally succumbing to the darkness without knowing how to control it. Very atmospheric, this. I love it. Well, this looks good, right? You guys ready for a bit of a trip? Here we go. Welcome to the Abyss. And welcome to our boss fight with the Four Kings of New Londo. They're, things that look like stuff. Honestly, I have no idea what they're supposed to be. They're mages, and a new one spawns in every 20 seconds. This is why I'm going to need help for this fight. Our build is not based around, like, really fast and furious damage. It's based around, well, literally poking things to death. I think they look very cool, honestly. I love this atmosphere and, like, design for a fight. Oh, and contrary to the title, there are not 4 of them. They just keep spawning in until up to 4 at a time, until their health bar is depleted. Now they use, as you could tell by the color probably, like the violet, dark magic. Very, very powerful dark magic. And we're dead. That's about the best we're gonna do against those guys, I can tell you right now. We gonna need some help. Fortunately, the same NPC that offered to help with the Moonlight Butterfly is available for that fight. Witch Beatrice, I think it is. And she's not gonna be, like, super duper useful, but as long as we keep her alive, she can wear down the kings a lot faster than we can on our own. And that, in and of itself, will make a world of difference. Oh, Logan's gone.
Master Logan has left on his own again. It seems that he is still determined to find the famed regal archives in Londo.
That's a bad idea.
Only before I leave, there is one thing I wish to do. You see, Master Logan has left most of his books. With them, I could teach you Logan sorcery. You have done much to assist me.
So he's got greater stock now.
Then, as promised.
Yep. Do you happen to, sell any transient curses? No.
Goodbye then.
Well, I guess we can just run it. Oh wait, but first things first. Let's level up that Estus flask on our way down, hey? That'll be handy. Estus flask +3, that's the good stuff right there. I think with an NPC Phantom backing us up, we actually have a pretty good shot at this. Oh yeah, MC says sold by the female undead merchant for 4,000 apiece. Sold by Ingward for 1,000 apiece. Oh man, we should have stocked up last time we were over there. It's okay, though, now that we've got, now that we've got that little elevator shortcut, we should be able to make it through with minimal damage from the ghosts. Hopefully we'll just have to chug one flask. So the Four Kings, I want to say, are weak to lightning damage, technically. But the long and short of it is they're pretty tanky as it is. Now, if you have like a great big sword build and just maximize strength, I've seen people wear them down surprisingly quickly. But MC says seeing Ingward after the Four Kings seems like a good idea. Well, we actually won't need to fight ghosts of this nature literally anywhere else in the game. This is it. No, stop. Stop. No! No! Oh, god damn it all! This is the worst. I'm sorry, I hate this area. Everybody, at least for Dark Souls 1, has one particular area they hate, and for literally almost everyone, it's either Blighttown and or one of the special dungeons that you have to progress through to get the, what do you call them? Lord Souls. For me, it's this one. It's New Londo. It's the absolute worst. Lots of people don't like the catacombs and the area that follow it. I think... Okay, so the area after the catacombs, the Tomb of the Giants, is, from an objective perspective, the most poorly designed area in the entire game. But narrowly beaten out by, I think it's called just Lost Izalith on the other side of the Demon Ruins. Both areas we'll get to much later. But something about this, from the enemies you arbitrarily need some kind of special item to damage there and only there, to there not being any bonfire checkpoints present in the entire area, to all of that, it's, MC says he goes to the Firelink Shrine if you talk to him after the Four Kings. Well, that's good, but again, after we fight the Four Kings, I'm not going to need any more transient curses, not so urgently. Hopefully, right, that elevator should still be present since we did pull it up last time. Get out of my way. There we go. So from here it is a panicked sprint. This what? Jesus. The damage on those swords, man. Oh, but Estus +3 is so good. Now, can we call somebody in here? Oh no, if her summon sign was outside, I'm screwed. And indeed it was. I think. Well, no, we can actually go back. This is how Dark Souls goes. We had some fantastic streams, and now it's 2+ hours of one single boss attempt. Or attempt at one boss, rather. Right, from the top. Also, we're gonna take a little something to help us get some stuff from Ingward. Might as well. Well, if we decide to go back over there, I don't know that we will. It might honestly be easier just to do the longer bonfire run. With the NPC, we should be able to take them. Not entirely sure we will, but it's the best we can do. And a good evening to everybody who's joined us. I hope, whether you're active in chat or just along for the ride, you're enjoying this so far. This is easily the most difficult part of the game, or this playthrough, for me so far. I expect things will even out after this. I can't think of any other boss that's been... MC says, to be fair, you had bad luck on Transient Curse drop with the ghost. That's true. They do drop Transient Curses once in a blue moon. Well, actually not terribly rarely, if I recall my experience with the original Dark Souls. We've had pretty bad item drop luck. Well, I shouldn't say overall. There have been bright spots. Come on. That's the way. Down we go. I will be so happy when we can leave this place behind. Easily the best destination we're going to have to travel to soon. In terms of design, both visual and gameplay-wise, lore, all of that is definitely going to be the Duke's Royal Archives. Probably, now I've never played the DLC, so I can't judge that yet. Probably my favorite part of the late game. Gotta keep our eyes peeled for that summon sign. As we work our way through Dark Wraith Hell once more. But this is all worth it, because we get a special gift for completing the Four Kings fight at this stage of the game, and not doing other things beforehand. Specifically, not talking to or working with Kingseeker Frampt beforehand. You know, the great big horrific serpent that Lord Gwyn sort of sent as an emissary, or rather, who arrived on behalf of Lord Gwyn. Titanite chunk? Yes, please. As long as we can get the backstabs in on these guys, they're really not that bad. That is a big if. MC says giant serpents are people too. I think they are in this world. And they are technically called primordial serpents. They, like, along with the dragons, I suppose, predated this world. Or were some of the very first beings to inhabit it. Down they go. Not the NPC I was looking for, that was a player. A no doubt very helpful player. But I would still, unless just brought to the point of absolute consternation, like to play and conquer the game using the tools they want me to have. Oh, man. Come on before the ghosts get here. Yeah, without a transient curse, we're not doing anything against them. Come on, back down this way. You got it. There's another summon sign. So glad to see that people are still so willing to, like, provide help for games like this. Well, wait, what's this? There's something around the back of the chapel. Augustine. Not who we were looking for, once again. Oh, where is this one, then? Oh, yikes. Anything gonna try to kill us out here? Oh, just the usual. More money. Never gonna complain about more money. Hold on, I will find this. We're kind of running out of places where it could be, so... Maybe back here? Got him. From the boss door, it's the set of stairs on your right. I got you. Hey, we actually got their Dark Hand. That's the, well, it is a pretty special shield on the one hand, and also, allows us to perform their humanity-draining grapple on humanoid enemies. And if we manage to execute it on someone who's unhallowed, we will literally drain a perfectly usable humanity from them. Very cool to get a Dark Hand. Probably not gonna use it, but good to have. So by set of stairs on your right, do they mean inside the boss door, or... like at the bottom of that massive spiral staircase? Hold on. I can get us answers in that regard. Oh, hell. So we can only get her if we summoned her in for the Moonlight Butterfly fight, which we did not do because I did not want NPC help. That's bad. Might just want to wait around for a jolly cooperator then. Like some other player we can call in to run interference. Sorry for the delay, folks, but this is one I know for a fact we cannot take alone, if only because there's such a strict time requirement. And this character ain't really built for dealing excessive amounts of damage in short spans of time against enemies that can't be backstabbed or riposted, either or. Looks like we're just going to be playing Ring Around the dilapidated tower for a little while. Or not, because the ghosts have insane range, that's right. Oh, this sucks. Should have taken that big knight up on his offer while the summon sign was still down. Anybody willing to help? Anybody at all? Oh, right, there's one more of these we forgot about. Maybe somebody closer to the entrance, eh? Nope, no dice. Oy. And we really need to get past the Four Kings, because they in particular are blocking something we really need to gain access to. Come on. Well, there's always one alternative, and that is to pop one more Homeward Bone and see if there aren't summon signs near the entrance to New Londo. Usually they're either near boss gates or at the very beginning of certain areas. You know, in case somebody would like help with an entire dungeon or stage. I have a feeling New Londo isn't too popular for co-op, though, for many of the reasons we've seen tonight. Okay, we got any good Samaritans around here? Anybody at all? Nope. Doesn't look like it. It would be so great to get one of the ghost knives. They're awesome, and I believe they can harm ghosts without, MC says not gonna speedrun this game to join you on this. Don't worry about it, man. It's totally fine. If we don't luck out this time around, it also because I do have some things to take care of this evening, we may just cut the stream there for now, and I'll see what I can do maybe off-stream as far as finding gear or gaining a couple levels in maybe intelligence for better spell weaving capabilities to be able to handle this fight solo. That way we can keep progressing on stream without me just, you know, wasting a ton of time. And so he says, yeah, ghosts can drop blades that hurt them. Not only do the blades hurt ghosts, but they're insanely good for, like, short blades. There's two different varieties, I think. One that might inflict bleed and one that doesn't. That sounds kind of right. Like, it's the ghost blade and the jagged ghost blade, I want to say. Yeah, it's a 1% drop rate, though there's plenty of things you can do to increase that drop rate, of course. Oh, no, you don't. Like killing 100 ghosts. Again, unless you have a couple specific rings that can increase drop rate, or one specific ring that increases drop rate pretty drastically, or use some of those old coin items we found which temporarily do the same. So the general consensus seems to be, and I could be wrong on this, but from my understanding, it's broadly held that Dark Souls 1's best design manifests itself in the early game, and then at the very end. We're talking like final boss and thereabouts, and then everything up through probably around Sif. But it's in these Lord Vessel, or these Lord Soul Hunt segments that the game's poorer design choices really make themselves evident. Particularly when it comes to environment and encounter design. And I'd say, yeah, generally that's true, because all of these areas try to do something kind of different and experimental, and not all of them pull it off super well. Like, New Londo and the transient curse thing is kind of cool, I guess, but You're just telling me I need a consumable to be able to hurt this one enemy that's going to be hounding me in one specific area. It's not terribly engaging, it's just frustrating, you know what I mean? Go down, no. Damn ghost. And the ghosts have a ridiculous, range of pursuit, as do these guys. No! MC says, yeah, they should provide a shop near the entrance for that specific item at the very least. And with that, ladies and gents, I think we might actually just cut it for tonight. I didn't see any summon signs, I will formulate a strategy off-stream, and I promise you we will tackle this nice and decisively at the beginning of tomorrow's stream. So with that, thank you all so much for joining me for this somewhat short, rather grindy Dark Souls stream. There's going to be much, much more ahead in the future. So, yes, please join us tomorrow night from 6 to 9 Central for more Dark Souls. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your evening.